Okay, I'm gonna update you guys on the original big fish tank from my old house. I'm at my dad's this time, and it's about time I give you guys an update. I have this big fellow right here, a copper Oscar, and another fish for him to bully, which I'm currently feeling really bad about. They're always chasing each other. Which, I mean, at least it's good enrichment. But yeah, if you're wondering, I say like the minimum tank size for an Oscar fish is 55 gallons. I'd always go bigger than that. This is not a 55 gallon tank. This is a 69, 68 gallon tank. Either way, it's plenty big enough. He's currently about 8 inches long, and I'm growing him fairly slowly so he doesn't have any developmental problems. He looks like a very healthy fish right now. Of course, he's a little bit beat up from, chasing that guy all the time. And usually, you hear of these convict cichlids. They're the angry, aggressive ones. But not in this case. The Oscar's the one that's being the bully. But what I might end up doing is have this be a him-only tank and move both of my convict cichlids into a 40-gallon tank at my mom's. Anyways, back to the aquarium itself. You'll see I have this Anubias plant, which is ginormous. My hand is as long as the Oscar. That is a ginormous plant. Started out about this size. This plant is struggling to grow because I've had it for about a year and a half now, and people just love to eat it. Fish, to be specific. They love to munch on that. I had a pleco in this tank who would always eat it, but I think we can imagine what happened to him. So, I'm happy that this guy has a snack and he's not eating this guy very much, because I've worked really hard to grow this guy. I have him a new plant to bully. I don't know what it's called, but I got it because it had some pest snails, you know what they're called. They're the spirally shell ones that are long and tubular. But yeah, it came with some of those on it, which will be good for cleaning up the extra leftover food. What happened is, I didn't know it, but I wasn't feeding this tank. What happened was the auto feeder, set to 12, was rotating, but that wasn't open enough. So it wasn't actually dropping any food. Now, as it had horrible cloudiness problems, but since I let it sit, it was no longer having those because it wasn't getting any new food and the bacteria cycle could catch up. And now it's very clear. Before, just like a couple weeks ago, it was super cloudy. But yeah, I have these two Anubias plants and formerly some guppy grass, but it's growing still, so, less nitrogen, still good. The outlet of my Aquaclear 110 just loves to get plugged up. I want to see if I can find a way to remedy that in the near future. But my gosh, this guy just loves to show off. He's like, "Are you gonna feed me?" I also have some pothos growing out of it. I learned that pothos won't poison your fish unless they eat it, which is fabulous. Because, it's toxic to fish when it's eaten. Once, it's broken down below a certain pH, it will release some kind of bad stuff for the fish. So yeah, I have it growing out of my filter. So I have the back of this guy set up so that I've got the filtration pads there. The right side has 2 pads, this side has 1, and it's blocked off by this so that the plant can grow without being bombarded with, fish waste. Yet, the only filter I ever really clean is the Aquaclear 110. This is a biological filter, of which it is doing a very good job. Apparently BioWheels don't actually do that much. I like to think they do, and at the very least it's very good aeration for the fish tank, so I'm going to keep it on. If I really wanted to, I could replace it with I'm sorry, I wasn't feeling... Yeah. Apparently they don't do much, but it's good aeration, so I keep them on. I wasn't looking at the camera, I was looking through my eyes. So, yeah. I keep them on because it's good aeration, and, you know, my fish are happy if it works, whatever. I do have an Aquaclear 70, and a Penguin 350 and all that down there. But I don't need them. What I have on here works, it's more flow. But yeah, you can see the Oscar's happy. Look at how dark his colors are. He is, like, if you see how his face changes colors depending on how he feels, he's super dark right now, which is good. It means he is comfortable and happy and all that. When it's white, it means he's curious or angry or, you know. See? Now he's a little more curious and his face has lightened up a little. But if he's scared, he'll turn basically completely white and just lay on his side a little. But yeah, Oscars are very dramatic fish. That's why I love them. But yeah, this is a big tank. It's about, let's say, it was like 67 to 69 gallons. I'm not completely sure. But because each of those filters hold like almost 2 gallons of water themselves, or a gallon themselves. I think this one's like 1.5 gallons. This one's about the same. But since they both hold so much water, I just round up to 70, which is just enough for an Oscar and a cichlid. Now, to the unfortunate thing. This little guy. He's actually doing pretty good. I don't have a light on the tank, it's just my snail and goldfish tank. I have biomedia for the substrate because originally this was a guppy breeding tank, but that failed miserably when they all caught fin rot. Which I fed the last surviving one to my Oscar, of which he gobbled without even biting in half. He just slurped that fucking thing right up. But yeah, I occasionally give him a methylene blue / salt bath, and it really helps get rid of any bacteria that was infecting the wounds and causing them to be itchy. That's a habit I gained thanks to Luke Scoldies, of whom I don't really watch much anymore, but it was a useful piece of information of which I will continue to use. I've got a couple snails that I don't know are alive or not. One of them, the really tiny one, I know for a fact he's dead. This guy and this guy, I'm not sure, they're maybe just taking naps. But the big guy right here, Pride and Joy, he is a taxi apparently. And then we got this little goober. But yeah, this tank is filled by an Aquaclear 20, which just, look at the size contrast. This is an Aquaclear 20. And this is an Aquaclear 110. For a 110 gallon tank, barely. But yeah, I have it set up with carbon. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Yeah, it's got carbon and all that in there. I put the carbon in because of the cloudiness in the tank. I'm gonna take it out again soon because I don't know how long it stays effective. This is like the only tank I've ever really needed to run carbon in, but it's gone for long periods of time without carbon. See, he's curious now. He's like, "What are you doing? You don't stand around here this long." Oh well. I like to think of what he's thinking because he's a fish, and they're weird, especially this guy. But yeah, I remember I left the feeder set on an 8-hour schedule with goldfish and Oscar food back when that guy was in this tank, and he grew about an inch in a fucking week, and I was impressed. I like for that to happen again, but I also don't want to push his growth and potentially cause, fishbone problems. Although I'm not sure that happens because they're in the water. And, when people are losing weight, they go, do stuff in pools because it's less hard on their joints, so I don't even know if that could even become a problem. But yeah, better to play safe, try and feed them regularly with an appropriate amount of food. I don't want to push growth, blah blah blah, but I do like for him to grow at a steady pace. So, anyways, eventually I'm going to replace these fake plants. Right now they're just acting as surface area. I need to find a new intake solution for the Aquaclear 110 because it keeps getting plugged up. This guy is an amazing filter. He is, if you remember, my original cute big fish videos from, 5 years ago? This is that filter. This is the same one. I got it back from the people I sold the 38-gallon tank to. They said that they were using other types of filtration. So I got it back. The impeller was completely fucked up beyond all repair. So I just got a new one, and it's been running perfectly ever since. A beautiful filter. Biowheels are amazing for aeration. They hold some bacteria, which I care a little bit less about now than I used to. They're really good if you have small tanks. If you have like a small, really overstocked tank, get a filter with biowheels, one that has something flowing on the biowheels to keep them spinning, like how this filter has spray bars. Get one of those, because that will make sure they stay spinning, because they hold a large bacterial colony if you have an overstocked fish tank. That's all. See you later.